BRICS nations. Let's talk about BRICS.
Get it.
Let's talk about BRICS, not those type of BRICS, Crusader, not from not from Colombia. We're talking about the BRICS nations. Okay. All right, so check this out. So the BRICS nations are rich with oil and instability, right? What'd you say?
Zoom in.
Oh yeah. The BRICS group of developing nations has invited 6 countries to join the bloc. South African president, not even going to try that name, Cyril Ramaphosa, announced during its annual summit today. That was the 24th. 3 of the additions, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the UAE, are among the top 10 oil-producing countries in the world. Argentina, Egypt, and Ethiopia will also be admitted to the group as it seeks to increase the geopolitical influence of countries in the global south on the world stage. Okay, on its face, BRICS nations, real deal, not real deal. Does holding 40%? So this is the stat. At this time, they have 4 of the top 10 producers of oil in the world stepping into basically. What is it?
I think it's 6 of the 9. 6 of the look. Let me share my screen real quick. This comes from BRICS on Twitter. 6 of the 9 world's largest oil producers.
Okay, even more
of BRICS.
Okay, so 2/3 of the world's largest oil producers are now moving to basically an organization that's saying screw the United States. I've also heard people, and I've seen people absolutely bash me in comments. They bashed you, Crusader, in comments, talking about how BRICS isn't the real deal. Don't worry about it. How can you not look at China and Russia on its face, just those two, kind of pushing towards each other, and not see that could be a major problem for the United States? Now you add oil to the whole deal in a massive, massive sense. I think this is a problem, right? Saudi Arabia made a deal with us. I forget the year that it happened, but we had a deal to basically give them military protection. This was a long time ago. This is where basically the petrodollar came from. We agreed to give Saudi Arabia military protection in exchange for using the U.S. dollar for oil. Settle in U.S. dollars on oil. Okay, a lot of people don't know this is where a lot of the wars came from. We can say that we went into different countries and different things for different reasons, but the reality is we fight about oil an awful lot. Now we have 6 of the top 9 oil producers in the world moving over to a group that's kind of getting anti-American. Crusader, give me your thoughts on this.
I got a poll out there. Is the BRIC nations a real problem? So vote on that, yes or no. Yes. My thoughts are yes. My thoughts are the BRIC nations are a real threat. I've gotten a lot of hate on TikTok talking about the BRIC nations declaring war on the U.S. dollar. They are out to start making settlements for oil within their own national currencies, stepping away from the U.S. dollar. Once again means that the sanctioning power of the U.S. dollar is diminishing. Now with the oil production, a large percent, what it is, 30%, 40% of the worldwide oil producers are going into BRICS. Dude, they're not for America. They're not for the U.S. dollar. That means higher gas prices for us. That's going to mean worse deals when it comes to energy sectors in oil for us, because they are aligning with China,
and we're not producing because we're doing this leftist freaking green energy.
Whatever it is, whatever. We're not producing, so we have to go to them, and they're going to be like, well, our new partners don't really want us selling you oil for this number, or they don't really want us taking U.S. dollars anymore for oil. So we're gonna take yuans or rupees or whatever it is that they're using, or whatever other currency, if they create their own currency. That's not good for the dollar. That's not good for America. So it is a serious problem that people need to be keeping an eye on. And Russia and China are already a handful on their own. Now they're aligning with all these smaller countries, building an alliance, right? Building a larger scale. And we're only focused right now on these big oil nations that joined, but I believe they got like 40 countries on the way.
Oh, it's a lot
to get in there. Right. Yeah. So there's a big movement to go towards the BRICS nations and their alliance. So as their alliance continues to grow within this decade, it's going to be a serious problem.
Yeah. And they're stacking. They're continuing to stack silver. They're continuing to stack gold. They are hard. They are backing they are backing their currencies, or at least trying to put a reserve together with hard assets. Will it be Bitcoin, Matt?
What if they're the first ones? What if they get
doubt
into
it, but
Bitcoin
that
before
would be
America?
that would be a freaking game changer.
Dude, what if they start going towards Bitcoin before America does? With all these
It'd be just another time we got beat to the punch because we were too freaking wrapped up in ourselves. That's what it would be. Too wrapped up in just our policies and how we want to handle and control and all of the things that have got us to where we are today. I think that you're talking about two superpowers as it comes to in terms of like military power. I think that you can't discount China and Russia. I don't think that you can. Then you add the fact that you're basically taking all of this oil production, which, like I stated, we're effectively not producing oil, and we have a ton of freaking oil, all in the name of this green energy initiative, which we've debunked this how many times? This is very, very simple on its face. Go ahead.
Talking about that, I was hearing something very interesting on the Joe Rogan podcast yesterday on my drive. He had Mike Baker on the podcast. He's an ex-CIA operative or director or whatever it was, whatever his title was. And he was talking about that. He believes it's very likely, right, that it could be that the green push happening in America is a diversion tactic from foreign policies, from China, from these other countries that have implanted this idea into the United States to divert us from oil production, from producing minerals within the state, within the country itself, to make us dependent on energy
on them.
on them.